Today's topic is going to be on advertising, which is a very important subject topic in the English subject. We chose this specific topic because as matriculants, you are going to need to remind yourself how to write and identify a proper advertisement for your paper 1 and paper 3 upcoming preliminary and final English paper. The topic of advertisement is also important for you matriculants because you are at a stage where you are going to venture into different things, and we believe that some of you might become business people, or some of you might want to explore other ventures of making an income, and thus you will need to know how to write a proper advertisement. You guys are also consumers and you need to identify the proper advertising techniques and when you guys are being deceived and when you guys are being told the truth in advertisements. Good day, matriculants, and welcome back. Welcome to our YouTube channel. I'm Miss Chauke, and on today's lesson, like I said before, we are going to be focusing on an important topic in the English subject, which is advertising. This specific topic was chosen because you need to be able to hone your advertisement writing and identifying skills. Please ensure that you have a pen and a paper in front of you to jot down important notes as the lesson proceeds, because you are going to need this information. This information is going to be very crucial for you, for your exams, and for the people around you, because you'll be able to share what you have learned with them. By the end of today's lesson, you guys should be able to distinguish between fair and unfair advertising. Not all advertisements are fair and not all of them are unfair. Some advertisements may contain a lot of manipulative and deceptive language, false information, and mislead consumers. While on the other hand, some advertisements consist of transparent and truthful information that aims at putting the consumers first. You should be able to explain and know what the AIDA principle that is most widely used in advertisements is. You should be able to use the theoretical information that you receive about the AIDA principle to curate your own advertisement that will be sent to me through WhatsApp for me to correct you and to guide you and give you proper feedback. You should know the purpose of the different techniques or features of an advertisement, from the contact details, the fonts that are used, the type of language that is used, the illustrations or imagery that is used, everything that an advertisement consists of, from the store's address, the catchphrases, the everything that an advertisement is supposed to contain. You should also know that every advertisement has its target audience. Every advertisement has its people that it's targeting, people who are going to buy, people who are going to purchase the product. One cannot create an advertisement if they don't have a specific target that they are aiming at. Now, I know that you guys have some prior or background knowledge on advertisements. You have been doing this since your primary school around grade 4, and some of you are probably still doing it in your current subjects such as business studies, tourism, consumer studies. Before I do the recap on what you might already know about advertising, please pause the video for a few minutes, and on that piece of paper or scribbler that you have in front of you, take down notes or do a free writing on what you already know or what you can recall and retrieve from your memory about advertising. You must write down the definition of advertising in your own simple words, in your own vocabulary, in your own terminology. Write down the important parts that a proper advertisement consists of. The parts that you can recall, the parts that you remember. Also, write down the things that you already know and remember about designing an advertisement that will be able to reach its target audience and achieve its intended purpose in the market. You guys have learned that an advertisement, which is often called an ad, is a promotion tool of a product or service by a business. In other words, advertising is about the techniques and practices that are used to bring products, services, opinions, or causes to public notice to persuade the public to respond in a certain way towards what is being advertised. You guys have seen different advertisements on different platforms, from newspapers, magazines, social media platforms such as Facebook, YouTube. Some are even being distributed through WhatsApp. You've seen advertisements on television, you've seen advertisements on brochures or pamphlets as you were walking down the streets. You have seen advertisements on billboards, notice boards, and so on. You might have seen a video or an ad of your favorite chocolate on television, and so on. An advertisement or advertising is a guaranteed tool of reaching a certain target audience as it attracts their interest, engagement, and sales. You all know that a proper advertisement is one that consists of different features from big and small fonts. The big fonts are used to capture and arouse the viewer's attention. The small fonts provide the viewers or the target audience with an extensive knowledge about the product being advertised. The manipulative language or catchphrases that are used in advertisements, such as buy one, get one free, buy three for the price of two, that are used to further convince the consumers to buy the goods and services that a business is providing. You know that an advertisement has to contain the store's address, because as consumers, we have to know where to go should we be interested in buying the products or services. It should contain the business's contact details or even their website, where we can find more information that we need about the products or services that they have. You should also know that an advertisement is not supposed to include any information or taunts about the competitors. It should not include any information that is taunting or putting the competitors in a bad light. We have two types of advertising. Advertising that is fair and truthful, and advertising that is unfair and deceptive and false to the consumers who are intending to buy the goods and services that a business has to provide. On the next slide, I will take you guys through the differences between fair and unfair advertising. What you can see here is an example, an illustrated example of fair and unfair advertising. Now, on the side of fair advertising, we can see that what you see is what you are getting. We have 4 vegetables that are being sold. It is said that you can buy all 4 of them for 100 Rand. And when you're buying all 4 of them, you get a 20 Rand price chop, meaning you get to save 20 Rand. This is fair because if you go to the store right now, if you go to Pick n Pay, you are going to find these vegetables in the same quality, same quantity, and the same way they are being advertised. And the price is the same. You are saving the 20 Rand that they say you are going to save. And now we look at the picture of unfair advertising. With unfair advertising, products look amazing in ads, but not in real life. You are being conned. What you are seeing in the ads is not the same thing that you are going to get in reality. For instance, we have 4 different fast food items. We have the Burger King burger. On the ad, it looks very inviting, appetizing, huge, and everything. But in reality, it doesn't look that amazing. It doesn't look that delicious. We have the McDonald's Big Mac. In the ad, it looks bigger than it actually is in reality. It looks juicier and more packed. We have the Wendy's burger. The same thing applies to the burger that we can see from McDonald's and Burger King. It looks yummy, it looks delectable, but in reality, that's not how you find it. That's not how you get it. We look at the taco from Taco Bell. On the illustration, on the ad, it looks very delicious. But if you go buy it in reality, that's not how it looks. It does not look juicy. This is another example of fair advertising. We have a combo from ShopRite, and they're saying that everything is being sold for 100 rands. You are being told that you're going to save 62 rands, and you're also told that the brands may vary. So when you get to the store, you won't be surprised at the different brands that are being provided. This is an example of false advertising or unfair advertising. This is a makeup brand, a popular makeup brand, Olay. The product is known as Olay Definity. You are being told that younger looking eyes never go out of fashion, and you're shown the picture of a lady who looks old, but her eyes look young. When you look at the other image of that lady, you can see that she has been photoshopped, She has wrinkles and everything, but we are being told that this specific brand, this specific product will help you to have younger looking eyes because it gets rid of all the wrinkles around your eyes and all the dark spots and eye bags around your eyes. But that is not the truth, because we can clearly see on this image that has been juxtaposed with the one that was in the ad that this is not true at all. This is misleading. Unfair advertising, also known as false advertising, is known as the act of publishing, transferring, transmitting, or publicly circulating an advertisement consisting of a false, deceptive, and untrue claim or statement made purposefully to promote the sale of goods and services rendered by a business. Fair advertising, on the other hand, follows the ADA principle that you're going to learn about later on in this video. Fair advertising is coined as the act of publishing, transmitting, or transferring, or publicly circulating an advertisement containing an honest, straightforward, transparent, truthful claim or statement made to purposefully promote the sale of goods and services in a business. Here you are going to see the differences between fair advertising and unfair advertising. With fair advertising, we know that customers are given the correct or accurate information about the product or service that they are interested in buying. It is not just about making profits. They put customers first. While in unfair advertising, customers are misled about a product or service in order to maximize profits. Fair advertising is an example of ethical and professional business conduct, while unfair advertising is an example of unethical and unprofessional business conduct. With fair advertising, goods are given correct and truthful labeling, while with unfair advertising, goods are given deceptive names. So in other words, with fair advertising, what you see is what you get, and with unfair advertising, what you see is not what you are getting. The ADA model stands for attention or awareness, interest, desire, and action. It is a model that is widely used in advertising to describe or narrate the stages that occur from the instant a customer is made aware of a product or brand to the actual moment when they purchase it. An advert should start by grabbing the attention of the consumer by making them aware of the product fairly and ethically. It should arouse an interest in the consumer by making them interested in learning more about the product or service, benefits, and how it will fit in with their lifestyle. It should create or stir a desire in the consumer by developing a favorable disposition towards the product. It should motivate or drive or push the consumers to purchase the product or service. In other words, it should make them commit to taking the action of going to the store and purchasing the goods. Now, on the next slide, I have posted a YouTube link for you that I want you guys to watch, as it will give you an extensive information about the ADA principle. Advertisements have many features that serve a specific purpose. The colorful images that are used in advertisements make us as consumers or the target market get attracted to the advert. They speak a language that words cannot replicate. The slogans in the advertisement, which are the short catchy phrases, for instance, Nike, just do it, Kit Kat, have a break, have a Kit Kat, KFC, finger licking good, McDonald's, I'm loving it, are very important because they help us to know and distinguish the brand from the rest. The logo is a small image, picture, or symbol to remind us of the product whenever we see it. The alliteration, which is the rules of repetition or the occurrence of the same letter or word, are also important in advertisements. Large fonts are used to attract our attention as consumers, as the target audience. The informal and formal languages show us what is needed in an advertisement and what is not. Formal advertisements do not have contractions in their language. Informal advertisements allow for contractions in the words used in the advertisement. The emotive language or emotional language that is used in an advertisement is also important because it evokes emotions. The persuasive language in advertisements is used to help sell products or to convince people to accept a view or idea that the advertisement is trying to bring out. We must pay closer attention to the language that the advertiser has used at all times. The bold fonts also, they help to attract the viewer's attention. When words are bolded in an advert, it is to attract the reader and also to emphasize something. For instance, on the package of Red Bull, you'll find the words Red Bull gives you wings bolded, meaning that the Red Bull can give you energy, and the owner of the brand is trying to emphasize that. The contact details are used to ensure that the reader has easy access to the company or website. It is to ensure that the reader or the consumer can find all the information that they need about the product or the service being offered. Your target audience refers to the specific group of consumers who are most likely to want your product or service, and therefore the group should see your ad campaigns. Your target market can be dictated by age, gender, income, location, interest, or other factors. For example, you cannot advertise couches or any other form of furniture and think that a teenager will buy those. That is not your target audience. Now, your homework for today is I want you guys to refer back to the slide in which I was talking about the ADA principle. Rewatch that YouTube tutorial on the ADA principle and use all that information to curate your own advertisement that follows all those ADA steps and send it through to me via WhatsApp, where I will be able to give you constructive feedback. Please take it seriously because this is a very important task for you guys. In this lesson, we learned that advertising is the techniques and practices that are used to bring products, services, opinions, or causes to public notice to persuade the public to respond in a certain way towards what is advertised. We have learned that advertising is about the techniques, the tools that are used to promote sales in a business. We have also learned about the two types of advertising, fair and unfair advertising. Fair advertising follows the ADA principle, and it is known as the act of publishing and circulating information containing an honest and transparent claim or statement made to purposefully or intentionally promote the sale of goods and services in a business. We have learned about the ADA principle, which is the most commonly used principle in advertising, which stands for attention, interest, desire, and action. This model or principle describes the stages that occur from the instant a consumer is made aware of a product or brand to the actual moment when they purchase it. We also learned that advertisements have different target audiences or target markets, in other words. Target audience refers to the specific group of consumers who are most likely to want your products or services, and therefore this group should be the one that sees your ad campaigns. Your target audience is dictated by many different things from age, gender, income, and so on. We have reached the end of today's lesson. Thank you all for tuning in and watching. I hope you have learned something, you have received some substantial information that will help you in future. Let me remind you about the homework that you have. You are to use the ADA principle that you have learned about to curate your own advertisement. Please do so and send it to me via WhatsApp. This is very important for you guys to do because it will help you in future when it comes to designing or analyzing an advertisement. You will also be able to collect as many marks as possible in that section. Now, on next week's lesson, we are going to be learning about cartoons and analyzing cartoons. Everything you need to know about cartoons. I know the topic of cartoons is kind of tricky for most of you, but do tune in and I'll be able to unpack it with you guys and help you guys understand it. Let's ace English together.